a mission to interview women and the occasional token man about how their passion and purpose have collided to create healthy relationships and profitable businesses. I am Elizabeth Denham here with Rebecca Monet. We are the co-founders of The Coterie for Women and publishers of the Franchise Women magazine. So Rebecca, how is your week going?
It just feels like a blur. Where it's already hump day.
It is, but that means guys, happy hour.
Happy hour tonight. Hump day, happy hour on the Coterie for women.
I don't have any wine. I'm going to have to be drinking tea.
Yeah. Bring your beverage of choice. I don't care what it is. If you're in the cold states, bring hot chocolate, but come join us. So let me think. My week this week was interesting. I had a thorn that I thought was interesting. As you know, I'm getting physical therapy for my back and for a broken femur. And I've been very discouraged with the progress that I've been making. And so I come into physical therapy the other day and my regular physical therapist isn't there. And they give me some young thing. And I'm assuming she's an aide versus a physical therapist. I don't know. So she puts me on the table and she says to me, how are you feeling? And I said, I'm feeling discouraged. I'm feeling frustrated. I don't feel like I'm making any progress here. I said, I'm concerned that because I can't stand up. I can't get my knee to straighten up. I can't get my hip to straighten up, and I'm not walking upright. And she says to me, she says, why do you feel that way? And I'm like, this has nothing to do with my feelings. This is a fact. I can't stand up. This seems
like a pretty objective thing to me. Either it's straight or it's bent.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. And all I could think was, we've become a world where feelings seem to have some value, right? That it's not about, I'm there to be able to straighten up. And instead, what I'm hearing is, how do you feel about like somehow it's a feeling that's causing my knee not to straighten out and my hip to not straighten out. And I just spouted off. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with this? Huh? I think it's the tacos. It's causing me to be a little bit more.
Get some taco rage.
It's a taco rage.
But you know what? You're not wrong. My husband always says, especially to people who are in a little bit of a fit, just because you feel it doesn't make it true.
Doesn't make it true.
Even if you felt that it was bent and it wasn't bent, that might be a delusion.
Right. But you can measure it. I can't put my knee down flat. It sticks out. Same way with my hip. So this isn't the feeling. This is a fact.
So you let her have it. Did you feel better after that?
I felt horrible. Elizabeth, I felt horrible. I swear to you, the tacos are turning me into a maniac because I should not have talked to her. She didn't know me from Adam. And I've just felt so bad.
Did ask you a stupid question.
It was a stupid question, but she can't help it. She's stupid. Right? I could help being unkind, right? Stupid, you can't fix, but I can fix being thoughtful and kind. And I wasn't.
You might be letting her off the hook just a little bit. I don't know.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
Right, so what's the rose? Because that was a pretty good thorn.
Yeah. So my rose, I know this is going to sound horrible, but my competitor has had one client for the last 8 years that I have wanted. And I haven't even touched them. I haven't even approached this particular client because it was just out of courtesy, right? I mean, if they're happy with another vendor, you want them to be able to continue. But guess what? They got hold of me last week and they're like, we are so ready to come over to Zoracle. What? And went on and on and on about they've been wanting to do this for a while and they're so excited and they're going to bring all of their people over. And there's a little part of me doing kind of a happy dance,
I bet.
Even though, supposedly I'm not competitive, there's a little part of me that is quiet.
I definitely think there's a little competitive streak in there. Okay.
There's a little competitive streak that goes, yay, this is one.
I'm all for a little competitive streak. It makes you work harder.
It does. It does. And so they're very happy. I'm very happy, and so hopefully this will be a long relationship. So that was my rose. Now I want your rose and thorn.
My rose and thorn. This is funny because normally I can think of them pretty well, and this week I'm having a little bit of trouble. But I'll tell you what. To speak to your stupid questions, my kids. The other night, we've lived in this house since Donald and I got married, and our kids were ranging from 6 to 14, and now they're 14 to 22. So that's about 8 years we've been in this house, and they still don't know where things go. Last night our thing is popcorn and wine at nights, a lot of nights. And so he was going to get the popcorn bowl and it was in a completely different cabinet. And he's like, who put this in here? I don't know. But 8 years, nobody knows where to put a dish. It's the most irritating thing. And then they'll ask me, where does this go? I'm like, same place it's been for 8 years. Don't ask me that question. Somebody recently asked me where to put their dirty towels. I'm like, same place you've been putting them for 8 years. And then they got all huffy because how dare I be snarky? And I'm like, how dare you ask a stupid question?
That's a stupid question. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, it's the same process. I established it in the beginning and I have stuck to it because it works.
That's right.
It doesn't work when you ask me stupid questions. Just shut it. Put it where you've been putting it and just otherwise I'm going to make you do your own sheets and towels.
On laundry and get
which they do
popcorn.
when they get to be seniors. I make them do it. But until then, I don't want my process messed with.
No, you control freak, you. I know what the solution is. You know those label guns?
Who's going to do the labels? Because that creates more work for me.
You're right. That's not fair. It's
Right.
their problem, not your problem.
Unless I could direct them to label it while I sat on the couch with my coffee.
Or your wine and popcorn.
Or my wine and popcorn. I'd be okay with that. So funny. And so I was thinking about the rose. I think we've had Hannah, who is 22 and lives in DC, now that she's sort of more permanent there, you have to be more intentional about knowing their day-to-day life. And we started reading this book that we finished. We read it, we listened to it, both of us, while we did our walks or workout or whatever. And then we would talk every Tuesday night. And we finished it Tuesday. So now we've got to find something else that we can listen to because it just turned out to be an easy way to read a book. But it's been really nice. Like we have conversations that are not necessarily about something that needs to be discussed, like Thanksgiving plans or what's going on with work or whatever. We're talking about something completely different. And I think it gives us the opportunity, because people think that she's my biological daughter because we look alike. We get that all the time, but we're not. And so getting to know each other as adults in that different way, our book was about mindset. So it sparked some conversations, I think, that helped us have that more intimate bond. We're close anyway, but I think we're going to keep doing it just because I think it's a really good way for us to connect, and it's connecting us more as women than as parent-child.
Yes.
Which is kind of a fun thing. So when it finished, I was like, well, now what are we going to do? And so we're going to find something else that we can keep that trend going. But it's been a nice little connection with her that I wasn't really expecting to be as fun and valuable as it has been. So I think that's my rose for the week. I was thinking about it when the book ended, and I was like, dang, it's over. But it's not, because there are other books.
Other books or other topics you can discuss. I love that. I love that, because you're right. Most of our conversations with our children are about, organizing the holidays or school or this, that, and the other. This is a deeper, more meaningful conversation that you're getting to have with your daughter.
Mm-hmm. And it speaks to who we both are, which I think is something that we've been in each other's lives for 9 years, but as you grow into adults, it's just a different way to connect more deeply and know who each other, where we're coming from, So I think it's been more of a give and take. It's not me saying, well, what lesson did you learn from that? Or let me give you advice on this. It's perspective. So it's a much more balanced part of our relationship now. So it's been something I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, I love it.
I tell her, I should send her this video and say, look, I don't know if I think this, but here's what I think.
I think it's a great idea. That's a beautiful rose. I think that's a rose all of us should adopt.
Yeah. And that's why the roses and thorns, when we used to do this with my kids when they were younger, we would get things out of them that we didn't know were going through their heads. And it was just a great tool to spark a conversation, which is what this book has turned out to be. So I think when you can find those tools, especially in a chaotic world where everybody's so darn busy, just to be able to talk about something like tacos, you know,
Yes.
it's important. I'm so glad I know that you have a taco problem now.
It's
I
horrible.
can support you through your taco journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What are friends for?
Smack your hand when you reach for that taco. That's what they're for.
Yes. No more tacos for me. That's it. No more. All right. Till next week, right? Till we do more
Absolutely.
roses and thorns.
Yeah.